Should we call to order?
Recording in progress.
We'll go ahead. This is Dr. Gary Hash calling to order the Ellettsville Redevelopment Commission for Monday, December 9th. Correct? And then we do our prayer first. Is this for me to do or is it for anybody?
For anybody, your choice. I think you did the last one.
I did.
You did great. Go ahead.
All right, we'll go again. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for all these people that have gathered for the good of the community. We ask that you help us all get home safely, that you help us remember your grace and your love and all the actions you did, and help us continue to do good for others. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And then the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So you do roll call?
Yes.
Okay.
The secretary.
No, you've been doing great.
Dr. Hash,
Here.
Tom Corman,
Here.
Trevor Sager,
Here.
William Ellis,
Here.
Carl Thurman,
Here.
Larry DeMoss.
Here.
Okay, I guess we'd start with our policies that we need to approve. Is that correct?
Yes, as I understand it, at the last meeting, the redevelopment commission members voted to approve the proposed policies for public comment and for an electronic meeting policy. So if that's still acceptable to you, I would appreciate a motion, two separate motions to approve each one.
So the public comment's separate from the electronic meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the public comment policy meeting for the Ellettsville Redevelopment Commission,
Which is resolution 2024-2.
which is resolution 2024-2.
I second.
Dr. Hash,
Yay.
Tom Corman,
Yay.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Carl Thurman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And a motion, if you're so inclined, to approve resolution 2024-1, which is the electronic meeting policy.
I move to approve the resolution what'd you call it, 2021? 2024-1 for the electronic meeting policy.
I'll second it.
Dr. Hash,
Yes.
Tom Corman,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Carl Thurman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, and then next would be the meeting schedule for 2025, which was attached somewhere.
I seen it.
And I did want to make a note that this is a regular scheduled meeting, it is not a work session. When I present this to the council, it will be on RDC letterhead. I just hadn't prepared it yet. I actually prepared it today to go in, and I do not have any work sessions listed. We can change that as the commission sees fit for the rest of the year, but going forward, they will all be regular sessions that you can vote at.
I think that's what we decided last time. I think we're all in agreement with that.
Correct.
Now, and then if we decide we want to have a work session, we can always work that in and
Correct.
modify that later, as long as we give the community
48 hours notice, so prefer, at least for my office, at least 4 days notice so that I can get it out to where it needs to go, because it has to go out on the website, town hall, and be advertised.
And it's 48 hours business days.
Okay.
Yes, not calendar days.
I gotcha.
Point of clarification on this here that we're approving. Are we just approving 2025? Because 2024 shows tonight as a work session, which we changed.
Yes, so when it is presented to the council, it will only have the 2025 dates on there
Okay.
to approve for the annual. And that's just to cover us for the open door policy, to make sure that we've advertised. These can always be changed and modified throughout the year as needed or added to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we had said initially we wanted to do every 2 weeks based on the amount of work we may or may not have, but we can modify that later there's nothing going on or more to be done. So do you need to, is that approved already, or do we need to
We'll
approve
need a
that?
formal motion.
Yes, a formal motion and a second with a vote, and then it'll go before the council, and the council will approve it.
Very good. Formal motion to approve the calendar remaining 24, 25 for the Ellettsville Redevelopment Committee. As is. Yep.
Second.
Dr. Hash,
Yes.
Tom Corman,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Carl Thurman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So may I say something? So at the last meeting, we had talked about hopefully being able to pass a declaratory resolution for the West Side TIF and the downtown TIF this evening, and we just didn't have all the materials, but we're getting closer. And so what I sent to each of you last Thursday was a copy of the maps and the legal descriptions for the two TIF areas that have been prepared by Jay Floyd at Bynum Faneuil. I also gave you a sample declaratory resolution economic development plan so that you could see what I need to put together. And like I said, it's just a draft. And once I get that lined out, it will look the same for the downtown TIF. And then what I placed in front of you are some more figures that we got last Friday, which is some figures that Mike Farmer put together with the help of the supervisors for certain projects for downtown and the estimated costs. And then also, Jay Floyd has provided me with the parcel numbers for all the properties for the downtown TIF and the west side TIF. So that's all I needed to finish my declaratory resolution and the economic development plan. And we will have a quorum on December 23rd, correct? Three
I'll be
people?
here.
3 people?
I'll be here.
Okay, 3 people.
Yeah, I'll be here.
That's a Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the Monday before Christmas. So all this is, I think this is all I need now. If you wouldn't mind looking at the project list that Mr. Farmer put together and just tell, because that has to be what I put in the declaratory resolution, the economic development plan.
I'd like to add some to the downtown TIF after the department head meeting this morning. I'd like to add a $50,000 ticket for the creation of a downtown riverfront district. You want to explain what a riverfront
What would that
district
include?
might do for us?
It'll help bring in other businesses to the downtown area. It'll make it easier to get alcohol licensing. And so it's a good tool for us to create the vision we have for downtown along the creek.
So that'd be a division inside the downtown TIF. There'll be, is that a separate?
The river district would be within the downtown.
Tip.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, I didn't know you just ate one of us.
Do we need a motion to approve that, or is this just more general information at
If
this
this
point?
is general information, but if you could just let me know, I guess as a consensus, if these plans look, or meet with your approval, then I can plug them into the declaratory resolution and the economic development plan for the next meeting. Because that's what's going to go to the plan commission then, and then subsequently to council.
And this is just suggestions. We don't have to do all this. We don't have to do any of this. And definitely we can add to this. We needed something to start with.
Baseline.
We got to start
So
somewhere.
it can be modified, so we can okay it as far as that goes to get it moving forward, so we
Yes.
have that, but then
Yes.
it can be, okay.
There's pretty large projects on there.
Yes, I saw.
So Mike, in this, like the signage that is on the current trail that probably needs replaced and upgraded, we could do that?
Yeah, I mean, it was more about wayfare or
Waypoint.
wayfinding. Wayfinding signs and new lights and improvements to intersections. I mean,
I guess that's general enough if we need to, because some of the
yeah,
signs, yeah.
we could totally put this in the parks and the trails too.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons we expanded the downtown TIF, if you
Right.
remember, so we could utilize money in the parks.
So the lights and that stuff is all done by the city of Ellettsville? It's not done by NDOT? So I'm still confused about that, how they control everything up and down
No.
46.
Well, in 2000, when we started the 46 project, we decided that decorative lights would be a nice addition as opposed to just the street lights, the big cobras. And so we put together a project, and with NDOT's help and by Simpson's, we made that happen downtown, so.
So you can replace those or change those and you don't have to go back through NDOT?
Yeah,
That's what I was
they're
getting at.
24 years old, so they're aging, and we think, you know, it might be a good time to start thinking about having a plan for when they age out, and maybe we can go to LED.
Because we've had a couple that have been hit by cars, haven't we?
A couple
Couple
of,
Yeah.
every 6 months, yeah. Yeah, we keep a couple on hand, so when you
Because another one by the library, that was, yeah, I don't know how that one got hit. And knocked over, I should say.
Can I ask you a question on this? Does this stuff include things like, for example, the creek? Is that what you want to talk about, the river? Are you calling it, when you say the river district?
Yeah.
Is it Jackson Feet Creek or
That would be Jack's Feet Creek,
/river?
sometimes.
Okay. So is part of this stuff where they're going to clean that out and clean it up where it looks better? It's more, because if you're going to do a river district or whatever, you want to bring people down or whatever, you need to have something that is, you know, well, you know, it's something that's visual and nice.
Yeah, we can talk about that, but we have to work with the DNR so we don't disturb the banks.
So that's different than this
It's
stuff.
in a floodway.
Yeah, it's in a
so
floodway.
like that DNR.
Well, say we wanted to put a ped bridge across from Chandler, so we could get from the trail to the downtown area, if you will,
Yeah.
down Vine Street,
Yeah.
say it starts, has growth. And so, that would be something where we get the permits from DNR, if we wanted to do some cleanups or some, things that'll make, you know, the approach to the bridge look good, that would be on the banks, we'd get their permit from them, and then we would build the bridge, and the monies would come out of the tip,
Okay.
or could come out of the tip.
Well, I'm just thinking about like, you know, the road appeal, when people drive through different
Yeah,
things. At
yeah.
least me thinking about these redevelopment areas is you want something where people drive by and go, well, that's interesting. I've never seen that before. And they want to stop, they want to park, then they want to walk around, then they want to, you know.
And that's the 30,000-foot plan. Right now, we're trying to get the, we're trying to get the things that we need built, and then come back and clean it up, not unlike building a house and then putting it in your yard.
Okay, makes sense.
I mean, right now, we're really concentrating on getting those things that we need.
The structure, the basic
Yeah, the
structure.
yeah.
And you said there's nothing we need to approve on here? We just need to, everybody needs to
Need to
comment?
think about it.
Okay.
And tell us what you're thinking, because
What-
you will approve.
What is a primitive trail?
A primitive trail, Denise, you still,
Primitive trail is not blacktop. It'll be used for more maybe mountain biking. Those who want to have a more nature experience, so to speak, and don't have any mobility issues.
Is that gravel or dirt?
Huh?
Is the surface something the town figures out? Is it, when you say primitive, is it dirt? Is it gravel? Is it?
It'll have a type of, what I'm thinking, I don't know,
Crushed.
we're thinking same thing, mulch.
oh, I was thinking more like the crushed pea gravel. We can take river rock and crush it, and it gets real fine, so it seems like it's dirt, but it's really, when it rains, it's got, you know, it's got some surface to it. And if you go south of town, Bloomington has one that is.
Like Clear Creek Trail?
Yeah, yeah.
I've ridden on that one. That's nice.
And
Yeah.
sometimes people prefer those to the hard surface.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're pretty popular.
Yeah.
So this wouldn't replace a section of the paved trail or anything, this would be an additional, okay.
But we just, in my vision, the other side of the bridge, if you go down there, I can take you down there again sometime when you want to go, you can drive down there, and it has, I mean, it just says build a primitive trail and leave it, let nature do the rest for you. And so, I mean, it seems like it'd be a perfect match to the more manicured park we have at Stewart Park.
When we did the engineering for the trail we're building now, we wanted to go further back, but they found deep ravines, and we thought that'd be ideal for a primitive trail there.
Which is not in the TIF district, but is to be built.
And when do we need to get back? Because I'm still trying to figure out a timeline. When do we need to get back and say this is okay? Because we don't want to hold anything up, because I know we're still waiting on your.
Well, if you could let me know this evening if there's anything in here that bothers you, because I need to put this together because you need to vote on it at the next meeting.
Is it true that if it's in the plan, we don't have to do it? But if it's not in the plan, it's harder
Correct.
to accomplish?
So, correct. And so you need to,
So do we need to put the signage for the existing trail in the plan, or will that be, is it general enough where we have, it's,
Hey, William,
yeah,
oh, sorry if I interrupted.
no,
Were you talking about the trail that's already built, Heritage Trail Phase 1?
correct.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to put it in there, I was gonna get some grant money for it.
It wouldn't hurt to put it in there, and I'd rather use grant money, but,
Yeah.
I mean,
okay,
get some
and I'm sorry, this is for the west side tip or the downtown?
downtown.
So,
Figure on the signage?
under the signage that's got $750,000 in that, it's not covered.
So that's what I'm thinking, because,
neon, well lit sign.
Yeah, I don't think the trail signage will cost that much, so
Shouldn't.
that would probably cover it.
How about sewer lines down Pine Street?
Well, I'm not sure what to say about that. I mean,
I feel like they ought to be on this.
well,
isn't that what this is, replace and upgrade 6-inch?
no. I did not put any sewer, I'm not sure what to say. We're working with Eastern now on a project that would replace the existing 18s with a 24. I think it's a 24, don't hold me, that might be a 36-inch main, because they want to do improvements upstream on their system, but they can't do it until we increase the size of the sewer. But it is such a large project and so disruptive that, well, I shouldn't say so disruptive, but you'd notice this being there. That it has its own life, and I'm not sure that, I don't know, I mean, we could put it on there. I'll look into, I mean, how soon do we have, I mean,
As soon as possible.
yeah, I don't think that's, I purposely didn't put it in there, I would say that.
All right.
Now, Darla, can we also always amend what's in there by a vote in a resolution, or do we have to,
You're gonna have to basically start the process over again.
okay.
So, I mean, there can be some tinkering involved later, but I would try to keep it to a minimum.
Okay.
Do all these things have to be clarified? Can you have a miscellaneous additions with a number with it, so you can say, well, that's in your miscellaneous additions?
I haven't really seen any economic development plans that do that. If there's a general, if there's a miscellaneous, or if there's a general, it's like for what I would call soft costs when you do bond, it's like for engineering or something, but there's something that identifies what that's for.
Right, yeah, I would assume it had to be clarified before any monies could go towards it,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to figure out how we don't have to go back anymore. We have to.
But in the plan, you're saying it would say like miscellaneous legal cost or something like that, it
Right.
would,
What about,
I'm asking Jeff right now, how much we might want to put it in there, just that
So-
would be on the list.
If, let's say we don't use all of one thing and we decide, we finish something completely and have money left over in a category, can you reuse that for something?
That's gonna be a big utility question, probably, yeah.
could you specify it like a infrastructure improvement cost?
If you'd like to add it to the list, just in case it's a really good idea, $4 to $5 million.
Ouch.
I would rather have it on the list and not use it, because it doesn't mean we have to use it, correct?
You're correct, and I agree.
Okay, so this is for the west side TIF,
Downtown.
No, downtown.
downtown,
Vine Street sewer.
Vine Street sewer infrastructure repairs.
Well, do we want to say repairs?
Replacement repair.
Because we can't do
Improvement.
maintenance with TIF
Why
money,
don't you
correct?
just put
Improvement?
downtown interceptor sewer replacement?
Can we elaborate at all on the Vine Street parking? Is that where the old building used to be?
I've got a picture on here somewhere. Do you want me to, it would be from Second Street to Paul Street, I think that's what I said.
Okay, so that's up there to the funeral home?
It is, but if you look, let's see, because I thought about that.
Yeah, this is so.
Included would be also new sidewalks on both sides, Vine Street all the way to Sale Street, did I put that?
On both sides?
Yes. That's how I figured the footage in the downtown TIF area.
You just had parking and streetscape, you can, oh, there's sidewalk project.
Yeah,
You didn't
sidewalk,
specify.
and it has Vine Street on there. So what I thought was a good plan was new sidewalks and paving from Sale Street to Second Street, from Second Street to Paul Street, a streetscape, and additional parking along the creek side of Vine Street, and then upgrade the road. And I have a picture someday if you want to look.
There is a place, right now, I think it's labeled as a dog park, right up there, behind Circle K, you know, an alley that comes down through there.
Yeah.
Well, half the road's gone, and it's lumpy gravel over there.
Right.
But half of that yard, where, there used to be a house there years ago, but if that was made into a parking lot, then that would supply the downtown area with additional parking.
Completely agree. That's our thought.
You have to have good soil for parking.
Yeah. Right.
It's blacktop
For some
over.
reason, I thought there was bad soil there.
There's, between the upper parking lot that's there and where that grassy area is, there's a little strip of land that's owned by somebody else. You may check that out.
Okay. We could make
On
a
the
parking
alley?
lot out. It's what it should be there.
And then, and then still there'll be room for 6% of it to be landscaped.
Yeah. Somewhere I have a parking plan,
Okay.
might be on the back of another important document, but anyway, I have it.
Yeah.
But that was always my thought. too.
Right, because when downtown explodes, we're gonna need more parking.
I agree.
And that's an ideal spot.
So basically, if you want to know about the sidewalk while we're talking, so it would be new sidewalks on Association from at least First Street to the school. It would, the road up to the school, Vine Street from Matthews to, really, from Matthews to Second Street, and including up Matthews on at least one side of the road, and I wish I had a little map I made some. But anyway, Sale Street from Association down to the highway. Down to the highway, because Association is the boundary. And so it came to the footage that I gave you.
Like with the sidewalks on Association, is there room for sidewalks? I don't mean to, because on Oak, pretty much if you did sidewalks, almost everybody's yard would be gone.
We might have to redesign a couple yards.
Okay.
Because especially on Association from Sale West.
Right.
The south side of the road they set up pretty high.
Yep.
And, you know, we can modify where we just put it on one side of the street if it just works better, so. But I put both sides of the street on Association, just thinking that it'll be a safe sidewalk to.
I don't disagree. I know they're built a lot like my house on Oak, and if that were the case, with the sidewalk there, pretty much it'd open up into the sidewalk.
Yeah, and now that I think of it, I may have exceeded the boundary on Association, because I think it just goes to Matthews. Yeah. But anyway, I have enough footage in there.
So back to the municipal parking lot behind Shell.
Yeah,
There is a strip of land between it and then where the house was torn down that we own. So there is a strip of land owned by a trust between the two. So it couldn't be a continuous parking lot.
yeah. Levy.
Well, unless the trust wants to sell it or donate it.
Yeah, we could do some wrestling for it.
Especially if it's not, I don't know how big it is, I'm not familiar with it, but if it's not a huge space, it's not.
No, we're talking feet.
Yeah, it's not a deal killer.
Yeah,
It's .050 acres.
okay. Yeah, they can't do much with that otherwise. Is there anything in here for, and kind of correct me on the terminology, what is the trails across from my house? What are those, the nice,
Karst? You're talking about-
yeah, karst?
That's county owns it.
So that's the county, that's where, we stopped before that.
Well, we're gonna connect to it.
We gave the county an easement on our property.
To make that
for the
happen.
trail.
Do they have, is there any idea or thought on eventually having, I mean, because we do that road because it's close to our home, but going across 46 is pretty dangerous. Are there any thought, I mean, in Bloomington, even going across whatever it is down by the Beeline Trail, they've got to walk over the road on a small road.
Yeah.
You know, and which is nice, and I'm not saying that's the case, but that's my biggest thought, a reason why that road's not used more, that thing's not used more, because you have to cross 46 with your family. And I can tell you, my girls are older, but when we stop to go there and cross it, I don't like it.
Well, go ahead.
So when we were applying for the trail grant, DNR required us to meet with NDOT specifically for that intersection. So we talked to NDOT and they said, no, we wanted to go over, and they said no.
Who knows?
So they would have to use the pedestrian bridge by Chandler.
In fact, the trail design coming behind our gateway and where it crosses on 46 is all NDOT approved.
But he's talking about where the roads, where the old railroad used to be, that's where his driveway is. You're talking about something over the 5-lane. He's talking about St. Louis Arch or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
I thought he was talking about the intersection of 46 of where Peoples and...
No.
Our street?
Oh, sorry.
He was talking down farther, because I get that question a lot. What can we do to get people from the north side to the south side? And there's not a good answer. Especially once you get past the last intersection at Hart Street.
And there's no ability to put parking somewhere else along there that would be connected to the trail?
Kenny Williams offered us a piece of ground right at the end of where Edward Jones is, right in town, and maybe put in 20 parking lots or parking spaces there, and then build a little trail to the cart. And so we'll be looking at those. Goes back to what I said earlier. Right now, we're trying to get the base done, and then the ancillary things come afterwards. But we are planning, that's one of the parking lots that we're talking about having. I should say. And someday we might even, somebody might propose having a golf cart ordinance for the town.
I got
Not
you.
unlike some of the northern towns that have them.
That's
And have
pretty
real
popular
success.
nowadays.
Pardon?
That's pretty popular nowadays.
Yes, it is.
Golf carts.
I can't wait for somebody to step forward and recommend.
Well, I appreciate all your work on this, and it's very appreciated, because I think the hard thing for me is I have this vision in my mind of what's going to make this town where everybody wants to stop when they go through. And I know that's your vision too, but I know some of this stuff that's under and below has to be done first, and that's why it's important to get this approved and get it moving forward, because I think that gets going, then we can make it where everybody's excited to stop in our town. That's my goal. We talked about that before. My goal is for people to see how awesome I think the town is when they drive through.
I appreciate that. I mean, like I said, you're not the first person to ask about a huge, structure to go all the way over the highway, but man, I don't know, I mean, it truly looked like St. Louis coming into St. Louis. The arch right there. It would be cool.
It's an attention getter.
That's right, we could put the name on it, in the front.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Welcome to, yeah.
Yeah, and then people will swear that's where our town begins, and we'll have. But
I see no issues with what you've got recommended here.
I don't either.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So if that covers our items, then this would be privileged to the floor. If anybody has any comment, public comment or discussion?
I noticed nobody asked anything about the west side.
Yeah, we turned the page.
Well, I looked at both of them. I thought we were doing them both,
All
yeah.
right, I thought we was doing one at a time.
Well, let's backtrack just a little bit, my bad, and see if we can look at the west side request or ideas and see if anybody has any discussion on that.
A lot of these numbers come from the utility numbers come from Westler Engineering. As I said before, we're working on 5, 10, 20-year plans for future expansion. So these numbers we pulled right out of their report that they just turned into us. I had Chief Patton give me numbers for the West Side Fire Station, so he gave me those. I had to do some figuring on the road infrastructure, and so I talked to Kip about this, and the 8 to 10 million sounds like it's high, but I'm worried about it not being high enough. The good thing about any road infrastructure, it's pretty clean and clear out there, so it does reduce the cost. And the trail and park, I use the amounts that we currently are using to build the trail we have, and then I add some to it because our construction costs would be low. So anyway, I use that, and so the water tank storage is a 250,000 gallon tank. We might want to double the amount. I was talking to Rick the other day, we're thinking a 500 gallon or 500 million gallon tank would be more appropriate. That's what we have currently. We have 2 of those, so this would be a 3rd one. So we might want to change that number based on my conversation to Rick. So that's the only thing I'd say to change.
The 250 would eventually be too small?
Yeah. I mean, we probably want a 500. Idem's rule of thumb is you have a day and a half storage for whatever your daily use is. So we're at about $1 million, so $1 million. If we build another 500,000 gallon tank, we'd be back in where we should be.
Can you modify that or give us a price on that so we can?
I say we,
Just go to market?
Well, I just say we double the amount. These are engineered numbers, or not engineered numbers, these are budget numbers, so they're probably high.
Okay.
So if we went to 3.5, we'd probably be good. And if we wanted to be safe, in case it's a hybrid pillar and goes straight up in the air, we could put $4 million.
It doesn't mean we're
And
committed to spending
it
$4
wouldn't be
million.
unreasonable.
Right, it doesn't mean we're committed to spending it, it's just the plan. I do want to, on the park trail construction, 4.5 million, but then we also have $380,000 down for parks. How,
These are more like pocket parks, and that's just a guesstimate.
okay,
It's two of them, so I know how much we put here. and-
but I mean, the 380,000 per park, how does that factor in to the 4 to 5 million construction? You see, there's two things for
Yeah,
parks.
4.5 million for trails, and then parks is 2 parks at 300.
Trails Just Connect.
Yeah,
It
it's
says,
for
okay, park
the
trail,
park, the park
trail construction.
amenities like swings and this, that, and the other. The trail and park really was mostly trail.
Okay. We just may want to clarify that because it almost
Yeah.
looks that it's double.
Well, I'm sorry.
Not
yeah.
double. No, I mean, no, it just,
Show up twice, yeah.
then the other question is, I know that TIF can't handle the maintenance of this. So if the town, can we get some cost of what it would, before these are built, what the cost to maintain this would be? Just a rough back of the napkin. Because what I don't want to do is have the current taxpayers pay for this, the maintenance of it. I mean, they can still use it, but still, try to limit that as much as possible or plan for it if everybody really wants them.
Could the TIF funds be used for the maintenance of it?
Well, one of the things that I learned today was that in 10 years, we would have to recode it or repave it. That would be a capital project. And so I'm sure we should cover it with TIF money as long as it's capital. Maintenance, it's a good point to bring up, because whether you're plowing it or blowing it, or just, picking up litter along the side of the trail, that's things that will grow into having to do.
Because especially if we have to, probably hire new personnel for that, with everything else.
We could put those numbers together, because obviously we're not going to build it right away.
Right.
So before we'd approve a project, we could vet that.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, like, the McCormick's Creek headwaters are out there, if we should have any money for engineering as we develop that area in compliance, because it is the headwaters.
Well, I thought about that, and that is in the $4 and $5 million.
Oh,
I was
that's
thinking
in
if we, that we might want to upgrade or even protect that park. It's Wells Park, and so I had
No.
pardon.
That wasn't what I was talking about.
What are you talking?
Down Flatwoods, that's where we're annexing. We've annexed some land that is on McCormick's Creek headwaters.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wonder if we need to have money to protect that as we need to.
I would think that would be part of a negotiation with any entity that would want to build on those adjacent properties.
Okay.
Anything else on the west side?
I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too.
Mike, let me ask you one other question. Back to what you were talking about, William, is I get the idea of the RDC and the idea of the TIFs to get all these things done, the infrastructure, the building, different things that we can do and not burden the taxpayers. But my question is, once you get to a certain point and the community's grown and grown and grown and everybody's enjoying all these great things we're putting down, does the TIF always pay that forever? Or, because I know for myself, if you had more of this nice stuff in Ellettsville and it went to some of my taxes, I'd be totally fine with it as long as me and my kids could use it. So my question is, at what point does some of these things get turned over to just the general tax basis, or does it always stay with the TIF? I'm just curious.
I assume when the TIF runs out, and I think there's an appetite, and I'm speaking for the board now, but I'll wait. That the TIF doesn't run indefinitely. And I think that's one of the things, isn't that one of the things we have to decide, is how
Right.
long we want the TIF to last?
It's not to exceed 25 years normally.
And 25 years seems like a long time, but what you're talking about probably comes about 25 years after the fact. So there is a sunset on this.
Because right now, if the tax revenue stays in the TIF, what would happen in the scenario that people would be paying more taxes to use this, but they wouldn't be reaping any of the rewards from the growth of this? So that I think you would see a big public outcry for.
Right, no, I get it. So the idea is for us to make this happen and make it available before anybody feels a pinch or pays a
Right, because
penny.
by the time this ends up reverting back to the town, the TIF is disbanded and it comes back into the town's inventory for tax purposes, this stuff should be paid for already from the revenue that it's coming in theory.
I think one of the important things that RDC consider is you're not going to be able to do all this. And so what is a priority? Good analogy would be if you have we already have people out there building, but if you had the ability to expedite commercial growth by putting in a three-way light, is that more of a priority than putting in a trail or a water line? Or it could be the same question, do you put in a regional lift station so that you can ensure growth, and is that more important than the light? So you're always going to have competing interests for any monies we have, little or a lot. And so I think that's going to be one of your big jobs to do, is to decide how the money's used, when it's used. And so, I mean, you're the redevelopment commission, so all those things, how long this lasts, that's why you're here.
Right, I get it. And the idea of, right, the biggest bang for our buck when it comes to it, as far as what's going to allow expansion to happen faster or at the right pace and be better for the town. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we're just, kind of feeling our way in the dark, but when the light shines, then there will be competing interests and opinion. And so at some point, you'll be, looking into the future. At some point, you'll be making a decision that everybody won't agree with.
I live with four daughters. I understand that a lot. Yeah.
And right now, without any money,
What does gender?
it's all theoretical.
That's a good point. I stand corrected. Trust me, I will back out of that one all day long.
Yeah.
It's a fight I don't want. Yeah.
A lot of hill to die on.
Yeah, exactly. So are we okay to move forward past the west side additions here or ideas?
I'm good.
Yeah, with it.
Good. Okay, so is there any other discussion here before we turn it over to the floor? Because I kind of did that ahead of time. No? Public comment? No? Name calling? Okay.
That'll come soon.
All right. Commissioner comments? Okay. Am I missing something? No. Okay. Well, I think unless there's other comment or discussion, I think we can adjourn our meeting. Thank you.
See you